Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to specifically talk about a very exciting aspect of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition that is emerging, which continues to emerge, which is Strixhaven. And today what I want to do is I want to tell you how to get your Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign ready for Strixhaven. I think that Strixhaven is going to hit like a comet. I don't think there's any... It's just going to... I keep saying that like it's bad. It's good, right? We play Dungeons & Dragons. We want epic, right? It's going to hit like a comet in that it's going to just explode a huge amount of possibilities for Dungeons & Dragons. I really think this is the best thing that has hit Dungeons & Dragons literally since the OGL. I think this is the best idea for Dungeons & Dragons since the 3E Open Gaming License. The 3E Open Gaming License was massive. It really transformed what Dungeons & Dragons was. It was really huge for Dungeons & Dragons overall. And I think this is gonna be big, man. This is gonna be really big. I just love it. I love this idea, and I'm very excited about it. And I really just cannot wait for to see where we land. So basically, we have this situation where Strixhaven is coming, and I want you to be able to get ready for it. So here's one thing you can do to get ready for it right now, okay? And that is you can bring specifically the Strixhaven houses. Now, they call them colleges. I'm going to refer to them as houses. The idea that Strixhaven isn't Hogwarts in D&D with the, Hogwarts with this serial number filed off. Wizards of the Coast I get it. Like, I get why they're just saying it's Strixhaven. I totally get that. And honestly, it is distinct, but to me, this is Hogwarts. That's why I'm excited. I'm ready for it. Here we go. So I'm just so excited. But, so the Strixhaven houses each have a mascot. And what you can do is you can carefully place each one of the mascots' houses into your Dungeons & Dragons game now and feature them, and specifically feature them in, in Dungeons & Dragons in your Dungeons & Dragons game now to get your players ready for it. All right, so let's go through them, okay? So all you need to do is just start to introduce these mascots into your existing world. And the best way to do this is have them show up, have them do something unique, and have them do something special, and make it clear that they're from another plane, right? And then once the thing is, once you introduce this, your player characters are going to start to think about it, and they're going to think about, and let them piece it together, right? Like, introduce it over different sessions, and then let your players come and say, "Oh my gosh, I think these are Strixhaven mascots," right? Which would be the best, and then you can respond with, "Oh wow, that's a fascinating idea. Wouldn't that be interesting?" Right? And so let's go through them. Okay, so there are 5 houses for Strixhaven. Lorehold is the first. Actually, they're in no particular order, but I'm just gonna kind of rocket through them. And so the first is Lorehold. Lorehold is plains and mountain magic. Okay, and it has a specific mascot, which is spirits. Now, spirits have been around in Magic the Gathering for a long time. They're right there. They're part of the game. They're part of Magic the Gathering. They're usually used as tokens, which is really quite interesting. They're specifically used as tokens, and essentially different spells generate them, and they're kind of like expendable little creatures. They're like summoned creatures, right? So spirits are quite literally ghosts. They're just ghosts. That's all they really are, right? So what you can do is you can bring in ghosts in. You literally use the ghost template from the monster manual, but call them very specifically. Call them spirits, right? And they can give clues to your characters. The characters can simply encounter them, like while they're traveling through a forest. They can see them, those kind of things. And and any information you give them, make sure that they understand that they're spirits. Okay. All right, let's go next. Next is to the next house, which is Silverquill. Silverquill is one of my favorite. It deals with the power. Most of its magic is words. Okay, like specifically word. Actually, words are really important in verbal, of course, is very important in their magic, and the power of words is incredibly important, particularly the power of written words. Now, Silverquill is plains and swamp magic, okay, and it's white and black. Those primal forces, those colors of magic. It's another thing I'm really excited about is actually Magic the Gathering has a brilliant concept for their overall magic concepts, and I'd love to see that really visited in Dungeons and Dragons. So basically, Silverquill. So Silverquill has a mascot, and its mascot is specifically an Inkling. Well, what's an Inkling? An Inkling is essentially a humanoid-sized creature made of animated ink. What? Yeah, it is pretty crazy. I think it's pretty crazy. But it's really cool and quite unique and interesting, right? So I love it. I'm all down for it. And so basically, Silverquill is essentially. So Silverquill's mascot is Inklings. This one's going to be interesting because when you bring an Inkling specifically into your Dungeons and Dragons game, it's going to be very different, right? Now, this is going to be a little tougher in stat blocking this. I think I would use like a combination of a pudding. I would make the Inklings essentially a helpful pudding, right? So there's like a specific spore creature in Dungeons and Dragons, which is it's almost a myconoid, right? So basically, I think I would use specifically the stat blocks of the myconoid without any of their spore powers, and the Inklings can move things just like a human can, but they use their inky matter, right? So and you can bring an Inkling in a lot of different ways. It's going to be more challenging, and it's going to be a big, huge clue that you are prefacing Strixhaven. So you're going to introduce Inklings to preface, right, to lay the groundwork for Strixhaven. Okay, specifically for Silverquill in Strixhaven. All right. Next, we're going to talk about Witherbloom. Witherbloom is a really cool house. They are forest and swamp magic. They're green and black magic. Okay, and Witherbloom, their specific mascot is a pest. Now, what is a pest? Well, it's pretty awesome, right? So, actually, you're going to use a beast template for this from the monster manual. And I would use a warthog and just use all of its numbers and just reskin it as a pest. Now, what on earth is a pest? Well, a pest is about the size of a boar, okay? It's kind of like a big it's the size of a big hog, but essentially think of a 2 or 3 section centipede with a lot of fangs, right? And that's a pest. And basically, the reason that these creatures exist is Witherbloom deals with very vibrant forest magic and swamp magic, and so this is kind of a dangerous creature that is think of it almost as like a mean dog, right? But it's very slug-like and caterpillar-ish, right? So you want to bring in pests, right? And again, when you describe these, remember the magic colors that are aligned with the house Witherbloom, okay? All right. Swole Quip, right? The houses are Silverquill, Witherbloom, Lorehold, and then you have Quandrix and Prismari. So let's do Prismari. Prismari is pretty awesome. Prismari is island magic. And by the way, when we come into Dungeons and Dragons, we're gonna need to adjust that island magic part to just water. So rivers, I think will count for islands. Anytime you're close to a river, you could draw on island magic. And then also mountain magic. So that's red. Now, mountains are, red mountain magic is definitely going to be in D&D. We have lots of dwarven, fortresses and stuff like that. That's going to be very easy. But for, specifically for the Prismari, the blue-red, their specific mascot are elementals. And these are super easy. So you can literally use a fire elemental and a water elemental. And those are going to, but you're going to introduce them together, okay? Because Prismari is like a steam, you can think of steam, right? It's water and fire together, right? So it's really kind of exciting, and basically, so you want to introduce together both water and fire elementals. Last is Quandrix, okay? Now, Quandrix is a math-based house, and their colors are green-blue. So this is island magic and forest magic, okay? And basically, Quandrix, blue is very manipulative magic. It deals with like time, and it deals with canceling other, like null magic fields and canceling spells, things like that. It's a control magic source, okay? Now, what you want to do is here, this one's Quandrix's mascot is very unusual, and the moment you say it, it's going to be a huge clue that Strixhaven is coming, right? And so basically, what are you going to do with, what is the specific mascot? Well, it is a fractal, right? A fractal is it's literally a creature that's made of angles and math, right? So very, very unusual creature, purely specific to the Strixhaven College, right? And essentially, it's almost like a humanoid made of angles and math. And this one is really different, right? And so you're probably going to need to mix different, like you might want to think about, look up Modrons. I'm not sure they've even been brought into 5e, but think about Modrons and what they can do, but don't communicate with them, right? Don't have them talk. In fact, if I were you, I would not have any of these creatures talk directly. They can absolutely give clues. They can, give yes/no gestures and all those kind of things. And generally, when you introduce these creatures, you want them to be helpful to the player characters. So this is just one way that you can start to get your campaign ready to transition into a Strixhaven, your current 25th edition campaign, to transition into a Strixhaven campaign, right? And I think this is really important. I'm telling you, I think Strixhaven is going to be so huge because it's just so special. Like it is the product of a brilliant idea from Wizards of the Coast, and incredibly good timing for Wizards of the Coast, and incredibly bad timing for J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling snubbed her nose at the entire tabletop role-playing game industry for 20 years, and I'm telling you right now, I think Wizards of the Coast is going to eat her lunch. Like, it was selfish to not recognize us and never do anything helpful for us, and just kind of scoff at our entire industry. But man, I think she's going to be paying for this one, man. This is a big mistake. Well, that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Strixhaven houses mascots. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you are considering the possibilities of transitioning your current player characters into Strixhaven. And there's lots of ways to do it, and I'll give you some ideas in the future. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you very much. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.